hands up at St. Paul's School for Girls. Go right ahead.
Hi, I'm Emma. Why do you think some countries in the UN vote for human rights but do not follow the declaration in their own country? Thank you.
You know, I would have to say that that is probably and what that means is that the writers of that document tried to lay down what the ideal for every nation would be. What would they aspire to be as a nation? And it's an important document because, as I mentioned before, it has now made its way into the foundations of most major treaty and charters that function or focus on human rights. And those documents do have some type of binding authority and force on countries that have signed on or ratified those treaties or charters. But why don't these countries follow it? I mean, that is the question. I mean, when I asked the Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights, I was in a meeting about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and we were talking about this new mechanism called the Universal Periodic Review. And just to give you a short breakdown of this process, every country, every member state, so 193 countries have to submit human rights reports to the UPR, so basically to the Human Rights Council. All of the UN mechanisms and NGOs across the world can actually comment on this report and provide their own reports saying how the country is failing to live up to human rights standards. Now, the reason we've made this a focus of our organization and our website is we believe that, as you had mentioned, why are states failing? Well, there's nothing to hold them accountable, but we think the UPR is one mechanism that at least has a possibility to hold these states accountable, because what happens is, for example, the US submits their human rights report. You have a country like the Great Britain that comes on, it gives all of their recommendations and suggestions to the US for how they're not upholding the ideals of what they should be doing in terms of human rights. Now the US goes back and reviews those recommendations, and it says, okay, UK, okay, Great Britain, we accept 20 out of 25 of the recommendations you gave. Now, why is this important? This is important because now a state has definitively said, we accept responsibility and we will take action going forward. But now it's up to individuals like yourself. It's up to individuals like myself to make sure that when a country has accepted these recommendations, that we hold them accountable, that we are a watchdog, in a sense, for making sure that they live up to their own promise, not a promise that has been put on them. This is something they have accepted themselves. So at least I think this is one mechanism that could potentially address the question you're saying. Why are these countries failing to live up to these ideals? Thank you.